I don't use apps right now. I date my friends and I date myself.
Since I moved to the city, I've been like so busy. I don't have time for all the apps. Sometimes it's like, oh, it's a fun game. It's like, who finds me attractive? Like, just like,
Yeah, that's so true.
just like want a little ego boost sometimes, and I'll go on there and like just match with a few people, never even like say anything. Just like, yeah, I still got it. My favorite way to meet people is in person, you know.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I completely agree.
You know what? That's the best way. It's the best way to meet people. You know, do it in person. You know, I think that in our time, these days, it's tough though. It's a real challenge because for me, you know, I'm always on the go. I always have, you know, things to do. I'm super busy. So, you know, sometimes if I'm bored and I'm feeling good, I'll open up app and, you know, I'll check out the scene, but nothing ever seriously.
Yeah, I would say it's tough. It's a little challenging. I'm not really a fan of dating apps. Oh, they're so exhausting. You know, people can pretend to be other people and not really tell you who they are, or when I disclose that I'm deaf, then they just disappear. It's really hard. You know, I want to date, I want to meet people. I prefer to date another deaf person. It's much easier in terms of communication, but I am open and willing to date a hearing person only if they know sign language. I don't have any time or patience to try to teach someone sign language. I want someone to be motivated. If they're interested in learning, I'd be willing to support them in that.
Yeah, so, you know, it would be the perfect scenario to date someone who is deaf. We would have ASL as a language. But most of the time, whenever I meet another deaf gay person, we often hit it off like, hey, sister. You know what I mean?
Definitely, right. If you meet someone who's deaf and they're gay and you think, you know, yeah, okay, this would be great, but we don't necessarily hit it off. And maybe sometimes I meet the other me at the same time. I'd like to date someone who's a little bit different than me.
Exactly. And you know what? It's for that reason that I end up dating hearing people.
Where do people with a disability, where do disabled people go to try and find dates and who they want to date, right? So if they only want to date other people that have hearing differences, where do they go to find those folks? And then how do they navigate communication and the labor that gets put on them? So not only am I trying to feel flirty and figure out if we're a good match, but now I have to educate you too.
So I'm wondering what obstacles you might feel in terms of having sex.
I have POTS, post-oral orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. In my day-to-day life, this means I have a lot of chronic fatigue, a lot of chronic pain, a lot of trouble exerting myself. Sometimes penetration is an impossibility for me. I take a very dominant role in the bedroom, and so it's also like
Okay.
very aerobic for me in particular, I feel. And so sometimes I don't get to do the things I want to do because I don't have the stamina. If I'm having a flare-up, sometimes I've like nearly passed out while doing the act and I've had to pause things.
So often we kind of assume a certain type of body, like an able body, and for invisible disabilities, it's not always like an obvious thing to the outside world, but that doesn't mean that we don't have specific challenges that need to be addressed or specific needs. I'm really grateful that she just shared that.
And for me, sex, I have trust issues. It's not really very easy for me to be open with someone. I really have to know the person first, know them well, and feel connected to them. And then the next step, I feel like I could really have a lot more fun in that way. But, you know, I've been hurt many times in the past, and I feel considerably resistant and defensive sometimes, maybe because I'm very concerned about showing my body or my skin and their perception of me or how they might judge me. And so that kind of thing is something that I'm definitely working through to be able to feel comfortable and safe with another person, to be able to have sex with them.
Yeah, I definitely relate to that. So I'm a survivor of sexual assault, and so sometimes sex brings up a lot of painful emotions for me, and I have to navigate expressing to my partner or whoever I'm with, like I'm sorry, this is not about you. I really It's a history. It's a trigger. It's a piece of my past that I haven't quite connected yet, and something that I haven't learned how to navigate around.
And so a lot of folks suffer in silence, and we see that sexually too. Their pleasure starts to suffer. They're kind of being used as a tool for somebody else's pleasure because they don't want to be discarded. And so same with neurodivergence and differences, the way their brain is processing might not be the same way that somebody else is understanding something.
I'm just curious, what are some circumstances that really make sex really pleasurable and enjoyable to you all?
Going slow and taking your time. Sometimes heterosex is like, let's make it look like the porno and let's focus on that. And it's like, no, let's just enjoy this moment. Like, who cares what things are looking like? Let's let go. And sometimes it takes me time to let go, so I enjoy going slow. So that sort of thing can be enjoyed.
That's hot.
I would say just being able to have a nice rapport with that person, getting to know what they like and what they don't like, and how compatible we might be. I'll share what I'm interested in and what kind of ways that we can connect, and definitely want to take turns, because I definitely want to make sure that we're both pleasuring each other. And then once we have that kind of established, then I think then it's time to have fun together.
Yes, and that's also very hot.
I like when someone listens to me. I have very specific wants and needs that I communicate. I like to be in charge, and I like my body to be appreciated and worshipped. Like, I am a prize. Yeah.
Yes, word.
That's right.
Very
right.
How was your conversation? And so we would really love to hear some of your thoughts on what the sex ed movement can learn from the disability justice movement.
Like, all bodies are different and might not be able to do everything you're used to. And so it's great to have a conversation to preemptively be like, tell me about your body. What do you like to do? You have any limitations? That would be great to hear before sex.
Good question.
I think that, it's just being ignorant, and all of the isms that come along with it, like racism, sexism, and whatever else there is out there. I think that, these come up very often in sex sometimes. So I feel like we just have to, educate and show, that, we are all equal, we're all human with our own wants and needs and desires.
Kind of what you said, it's like bodies are a spectrum. Let's look at them like that and not as a couple boxes we're trying to fit them into.